This specification contains two use cases, one from the perspective of an employee and the other from the perspective of management. This application will allow users to set available days to work for 1 week. This application will allow managers to select a day of the week and see available employees for a given day. This app will provide a dashboard for the manager to see a graph of available employees for the week. James is an employee at a local craft brewery who was recently purchased by a major international beer conglomerate called Beer Global Associates. Before the buyout, James had been written up for being late because he did not know his schedule. James's corporate overlords have identified showing up late for work as a systemic problem among the staff and have decided to implement a new system for tracking employee availability, and maybe some more invasive data in the future. The management has decided, in order to get the crew on board with the new system, a mandatory meeting 2 hours before the earliest scheduled shift on a Saturday morning is necessary. During this meeting, the tired staff is presented with a URL. The URL takes James to a registration page. Let's meet our second use case, the manager, Lars. Lars is a scheduling manager for a new craft brewery that just opened up at the new revitalized waterfront in a metro area of a large city. The management from the mothership have just informed Lars that they are going to be integrating a tool for helping him with scheduling. They explained to him that after this tool is integrated, they promise he will still be useful to them, for now. Lars is instructed to check his email for a special useful manager person sign-up link. Page descriptions. The registration page. The page has a clean-looking form with a heading that reads Create Account. Below the heading is a brief message welcoming James to the Brew Global Associates family of brands. This message informs James how happy BGA is to have their brewery as part of their portfolio of hip entities. There's also a message which says that by creating this account, the user is consenting to the collection of their data, which will be used to help BGA better serve consumers. Below this message is a field set where James adds his first name, last name, phone number, email address, as well as 2 fields to set and verify his password. Below the form, there is a submit button. After James presses submit, an alert message either informs him that the account creation was successful, or a message informs him that something was entered incorrectly. In this case, he managed to enter the correct information, and he is redirected to the home page. Once he's logged in and on the home page, there's a navigation menu at the top. The navigation is presented as a hamburger on all pages of the application and presents the following menu options: Home, Availability, Profile Settings, and Users. The Users option is only for managers. When James taps on the Home option in the navigation menu, he is presented with a list of shifts, ordered as day, date, time. For the time being, generating a schedule for each employee is beyond the scope of this project. When James taps the Availability nav item, he is presented with a screen that shows a list of days of the week with a checkbox next to it. By default, all the boxes are checked with a text signifier that says Available to the right of each checkbox. Profile Settings page. When James clicks the Profile Settings menu item, he is presented with a page that shows his profile information. On this page, there is a heading that says Profile Settings. There's a subheading with his name. Below his name, there is a text input field with each of the following information pre-filled: phone number and email address. Below those inputs, there is a subheading that says Change Password. Under the subheading, there is 3 input fields. The first is labeled Current Password, and the second 2 options say New Password and Confirm Password. Below these fields, there are 2 buttons. One says Save, the other says Cancel. If James clicks on the Save button, he will be prompted with a message that says his information was successfully saved. If he hits the Cancel option, any of the information that had been entered into the input fields will be reset and replaced with the default values. Note, the profile settings page will be the same for the management users. This is an overview of the dashboard page, which serves as the home page for users who log in with management privileges. When Lars is logged in, he will be presented with a dashboard which features a bar graph that displays the data about the availability of his employees throughout 1 week. The y-axis of the graph will represent the number of employees available, and the x-axis will represent days of the week. If Lars was to click on one of the bars in the chart, a list of employees available to work on that day will appear below the chart. This is an overview of the user management page. This page is only available to users with management credentials. When Lars clicks on the user management nav item, he will be taken to a page where he can see a table view of all of the employees. In this table, he is presented with the following information: the first name, last name, phone number, and email address. In the last two columns, there is a timestamp of the last time the employee checked their schedule and a button labeled Destroy. The Destroy button does not destroy the employee, it deactivates their account. At the top of the table, there is also a control where Lars can filter in and out the destroyed. This has been an overview of my functional specification for PHP 2. If you have any questions, feel free to message me on Slack.